Hey film friends, I'm Nick Furman. This is Furman On Film. Welcome to the channel. Rocky meets Bloodsport. Enter the Dragon? How about John Wick meets The Raid? Better. The star of Slumdog Millionaire doing the Indian street level handheld shaky cam of Slumdog Millionaire. This is Dev Patel's Monkey Man. You know, I was going to save this stuff for the critiques section, but it applies just as much to the themes and intent of the filmmaking. So let's start here. Look, Monkey Man is extremely familiar. It is every trope and cliche you can think of. The underdog become champion, the reckless warrior mentored by the spiritual guru, the wild child learning to fight for a bigger purpose, traumatic past events turning into quests to avenge loved ones, training montages that recall films like Rocky. It's all here. And there's very little that's brand new, except these religious and political subtexts which Patel tries to add in the second act and then ride through to the conclusion. There are nods to Hindu gods like Hanuman, the Monkey Man, who is kind of an anchoring force in kids' life. Still, this is all about spiritual shamans abusing power, but it also concerns castes and privilege. They don't even see us, Patel says about the upper crust elite at one point. They're all just up there living. Now, what this film does have that's unique is style for days. Patel wears his influences on his sleeve a little bit. Hong Kong action movies, The Raid, and of course, the one you've surely been hearing about ever since this trailer dropped, John Wick. He's actually smart enough to name drop the Wick franchise inside this film. But it's still a slight subversion of those films in two ways. One, he's not a great fighter right away. He's pretty much just a scrapper. And two, there are almost no guns in this film, so gun fu will have to wait. To these influences, the director adds a bevy of flashback interstitials and shoots everything super tight, shaky, and quick cut. I'm probably not the first to say it, but there is more than a little Danny Boyle, who Patel obviously worked with in Slumdog, in the visual language of this film. All the cityscapes are grimy and the violence is so visceral. But Patel does awesome things with light and shadow. His use of red lighting versus black backdrops in the third act is masterful. There's even a shot in silhouette that mirrors Uma and the Crazy 88s from Kill Bill. Besides this, look, this is a revenge action thriller. It needs great fight scenes, and it delivers. The hand-to-hand axe battle is as playful as it is intense. And there are a bunch of really fun kills for the bloodthirsty as well. The wallet handoff sequence, which again dips into Boyle's whole nameless street urchin vibe, would play in any Ocean's film. Yet, by far my favorite thing about all of this, besides the tall, lanky, winning man who's in literally every frame of this picture, is the way it transforms from act to act. Now, some may see this as a sign of how chopped up the final product is, but I love the movement from the early action scenes, which are so shaky and have such a shallow depth of field that they're almost nauseating, to then Patel going black suit, full wick at the end, where they're far less so. Everything is still really kinetic, but the shots seem to mirror the transformation of the character. Much more legible to me. More centered. And these are all signs of a first-time director with some real chops and ideas. Okay, look, if you read anything at all critical of this film, you're probably going to run into its troubled production. Originally, years ago, this was supposed to be a picture without a theatrical release that was going to go straight to Netflix. Then funding went dry, and they were going to completely shelve it. But Jordan Peele came along, scooped it up, and brought it back to life under Universal's banner. So, the way this stuff usually goes is, when you have a project changing hands so many times like this, it gets really hacked up. We're actually not sure what's edited out and what isn't, or how long the original cut even was. But it is pretty clear that the film turns on a dime once Dev enters the Hijra community. It really grinds to a halt, the middle drags, it gets convoluted, and Patel sort of bites off a little more than he can chew once he moves from one man's revenge quest into these bigger socio-political issues. More informed people than myself have also pointed out the muddled politics myths of extremist Hindu nationalism rubbing shoulders with the vengeful blood quest. I'll just say that to me, this film bore the marks of a first-time director. It's just a little shaggy and all the parts don't entirely cohere. In the beginning, the shallow focus problem with the handheld shaky cam is so in your face, I thought I might need a Dramamine.
Jesus Christ.
Now what? Things are so tight that you occasionally lose some of the action. The frenetic tuk-tuk chase scene would be one example of this. I also think the guiding Hanuman metaphor is only so effective as well. I mean, you've got these fun street-level fight sequences, but if the Monkey Man always just got destroyed, who would ever bet on him? And we return to the ring again in the third act. But by then, the film has just kind of moved on into this bigger nationalistic journey. Finally, speaking of the finale, the final 30 of the movie moves from being really gritty to kind of outlandish. Now, if super sleek action a la Wick is your bag, then you're gonna love this transformation. But it did make me wonder what would happen if the film stayed as grimy and authentic all the way through to its conclusion. No lights. So, what do we conclude? Monkey Man is kind of a hodgepodge of several things. It's a work teeming with familiar tropes in the revenge thriller genre, but it tries to infuse them with a unique Hindu religious and political subtext. Despite a bit of a meandering middle, Dev Patel injects the film with a distinct visual style and shines in kinetic fight sequences. In the end, here's a debut that showcases promising talent and innovative ideas, offering us a glimpse into the future filmmaking potential of its star. Well, there you have it. The only thing left to discuss is our rating for this picture. FOF gives Monkey Man 3.9 out of 5 stars. If you enjoyed this review, please let us know by giving us a thumbs up and subscribing to the channel. Also, don't forget to visit FurmanOnFilm.com for even more movie content. Thanks for watching. I'm Nick Furman. This is Furman on Film. Stay firm, my friends. Guy just doesn't charge lights, man. You got one job.